This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. The title today is 18 Stories We're Following Today. So that's the title for this podcast. We're talking April 13th, 2023, one day before my birthday, and I will not tell you how old I am because it's embarrassing even to me. So thank you so much for listening. So the first thing is today's prescript. There's so much complaining that you hear in the news, in the narrative around prescription and pharmacy profits. And I don't disagree with any of it. I get different arguments on it and so forth about do they make too much, do they make too little, what's the deal with pharmacy profits. But the prescript of today's podcast is, it is worth noting and taking a moment to appreciate the amazing advancements in medicine that pharma is bringing. And I see this in so many different levels, whether it's in oncology treatments, heart treatments, all kinds of places where pharmaceutical advancements are making just a huge improvement in all of our lives. So notwithstanding all the complaining about pharma profits, it is worth noting this tremendous positivity that pharma brings. This is, of course, as always, an unsponsored message, so bear with me. So here's our 18 points that we're following today. First, the markets fell yesterday based on expectations that the Fed will keep raising rates. Even though inflation fell to its two-year low, it's still running at close to 5%, and this led people to believe that the Fed will keep raising rates. Second, the Dow fell slightly yesterday. The NASDAQ fell 0.85%, almost 1%, and the S&P fell 0.41%, almost 0.5%. Third, futures point slightly up this morning, and now the market's looking decidedly up after new job claims were higher, a little higher than expected. So people are concerned that the economy is slowing a little bit. That gives people positivity or belief that the Fed won't raise rates so much. So today, now, midday, April 13th, the markets are heading up. Fourth, the one-year Treasury fairly flat. It goes to 4.71%. Fifth, thrilled today to interview Dr. Michelle Blakely. She's the president of two Advocate Health hospitals in the greater Chicago area. Highly brilliant leader. A pleasure to visit with her today on the Becker's Healthcare Podcast. Sixth, also excited today to visit with Matt Wolf of RSM on the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Also a highly listened to guest on the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast. Seventh, Credit Suisse. What a mess this is. UBS looking at a way to have JP Morgan sell the U.S. domestic Credit Suisse assets. But what a mess Credit Suisse has become over a long period of time. Eighth, Warren Buffett tears into banks, trashes Bitcoin, and warns that inflation and recession could lead to much bigger problems. Again, this was reported in Business Insider on a Warren Buffett speech and talk. But Warren Buffett, for all the discussion of his aging, still pretty brilliant and pretty great common sense. Ninth, two podcasts that were also released today. One, Do What You Say You Will Do. Second, this concept as the unfortunate paradox of investing, where the less fortunate take more risk in investing than the more fortunate because they're trying to chase bigger returns. An unfortunate paradox of investing. 10th, oil's crept back up to about $83 a barrel. Bitcoin has surpassed $30,000. Incredible to see that rebound. 12th, cannabis stocks keep on tanking. 13th, when you talk about a lawyer-client relationship going wrong, and again, my background, I'm a Harvard-trained lawyer, and it's almost inevitable that a Harvard person tells you that at some point when they're talking to you, so excuse me for that embarrassment. I apologize. But the point being, on lawyer-client relationships, the Donald Trump relationship with Michael Cohen as lawyer is really a story of lawyer-client relationships going wrong. There's a story today about Donald Trump suing Michael Cohen for $500 million. Never a good day on either side of that equation, but what a mess in terms of lawyer-client relationships. I'm not necessarily a Trump fan. I'm really not. But Michael Cohen really behaved poorly in this whole situation. If you have a client, no matter how bad that client is, you don't do tell-all books about that client, my own perspective, but what have you. But what a fascinating situation of where client relationships going wrong. 14th, Walmart closes half its Chicago stores and losing tens of millions of dollars. This is unfortunate because politicians have to look at this as our job is to take care of our community and business. It's not either or. And when communities get anti-business and those businesses then leave, It's a downward spiral for the community. That's what you're seeing in parts of Chicago now. Is Walmart basically says they're losing tens of millions of dollars in Chicago stores. They're going to close some of that up. 15th, credit investors see defaults rising. I think no great surprise, but people are hearing this, that we're going to see more and more defaults in business and in personal defaults. All the stats are moving in the wrong direction in terms of people's delinquencies and paying rents, paying home mortgages, paying car loans, and so forth. 16th, brilliant to interview yesterday, the president and COO of Providence St. Joseph Health, Eric Wexler, just a brilliant, brilliant leader. 17th, thrilled again to visit with Cindy Warburton today. Cindy has a role running advanced practitioners at one of the largest health systems, and so always great to visit with her. Excited to talk to her about that and what we're seeing with advanced practitioners, more and more part of the healthcare equation. And finally, 18th, during the spring each year, I get a chance to coach high school tennis, and this is one of those labors of love that I really love, but also gives me this great love and affection for today's youth. A much more positive story than sometimes you hear in the media of what today's youth are like, just magnificent people, and excited to watch them prosper and grow and thrive. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity Business Minute Podcast. I hope that wasn't too much. Feel free, if you're the first person to text me at 773-766-5322, we'll send you a $50 Amazon gift certificate. Thank you for listening.